know what's crazy is how many copywriters who are making 10, 15, 20, even $25,000 a month are still completely broke. It's this crazy thing because when I first started coaching copywriters, I would coach copywriters who are making 5K a month and also copywriters who are making 10, 15K a month. And sometimes the copywriters making 5K a month had more savings than the copywriters making 2 to 3 times more than them. And the more I explored this and I looked into why this happens, the more I realized that just because you're making more money doesn't mean that you actually have more money. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how you can make a lot of money, but also keep your money so that you actually make momentum and you actually get to the goals that you want in your life financially. You got it? All right, enough tourist stuff. Let's talk about money. So you want to make more money, you want to keep money. There are 4 reasons that you're probably losing money right now, and here's what they are. First one is lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep happens to everybody, including me. Lifestyle creep's not like the biggest thing I've struggled with because I've always been very careful with my money. Like until this year, actually, I would still see the price of stuff the same way no matter my income. Whereas a lot of people, they look at the price of stuff as a ratio, like, oh, you know, business class, it's only 5% of my income. For me, I'm still like, well, it's $5,000, you know, it's like, you know, it's still $5,000, it doesn't matter how much of a ratio it is. So what happens is copywriters and business owners and marketers, they look at their income as a ratio and then they, like subconsciously, and then they compare their expenses to the ratio. So if it's like, well, rent's $3,000 a month, but I make 20K, so whatever, you know? For me, it's like, well, you're still paying $3K rent. Just because you're making more money doesn't make it more or less expensive. It's still $3,000. Like, perfect example, like flying business class, you spend $5,000 on maybe tickets. I mean, I did this. I spent $5,000 to go to Japan business. I know I could have stayed in an Airbnb for an entire month in Japan for that kind of money. So it's like, yeah, technically, because I make so much money, it was a very small amount of my income. But like that money could have been used for something else that I would consider, I mean, in this case, I did it for the experience, but I would actually consider, usually I'd prefer to do the Airbnb for a month for $5,000 than business class tickets. I'd rather just fly economy and just push through, you know? So, you know, lifestyle creep happens. You just got to be able to see price of something as the same price, regardless of how much income you make. Some people will disagree with this perspective, I know, because some people say, oh, just make more money. Yes, but at the same time, like, you know what? If you can be responsible and like protect your money, it's not going to hurt you to have an extra $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 every single month in your savings. Like, you know what? It's not a bad thing. Just trust me on that. It's not a bad thing to have all that money, especially as a copywriter when you're so used to this idea of finding another client. If you have money and you have all this money in your bank account, you're not going to feel this same. Oh, check this. Check the bunnies. Yeah, looks great. Yeah, so like if you have money in your bank account, you're not gonna be so worried about if you lose a client, you know? And so that's the first one. Second one is you're not used to having money. So when you look at your bank account, this was me, it's at $5K a month. I mean, I have a bank account with $5,000 in it, okay? And the next month it's still $5K. The month after it's still $5K. The month after it's still $5K. Like you're gonna start to get used to this idea that your savings is $5K. But if you're still making money every single month, and you're making money, why is it not going up? Like, why are your savings the same? Because you're used to not having money. So that's the second reason why people don't keep their money, because they're just not used to having more and more money. Like, rich people have a lot of money. They just always have lots of savings. Like, they don't know what to do with all of it. The third thing is that they are afraid of inflation. You get a lot of business owners and gurus, and they're like, oh, you know, inflation, like, watch out, you'll lose all your money. It's really, really bad. Like, you gotta be careful. Yeah, I guess sort of, but rich people are used to having a lot of money in their bank account. It's not really something that's affecting them, you know? So I wouldn't worry about that. And then the last one is just bad advice. And I've had a lot of bad advice from people where they'll tell me like, you should do this, you should do this. I lost a lot of money. I almost lost $100,000 in crypto. And it was just bad advice. And I was the one that was stupid because I listened and I was trying to make more money faster. But I really could have used that money for something. I could have put that towards property. I could have kept that as savings. I could have done a lot of simple things with it, like even the stock market, you know, maybe, right? So those are the 4 things that everybody, you know, does usually and why they stay stuck. So what would I recommend you do? I recommend you read the book Psychology of Money. It's an amazing book. I really enjoy it. And they talk about this concept in the book of like we're talking about ratios of income, right? They talk about how one guy, when he started his career, he was saving 1% of his income and using 99%. By the end of his life, he was saving 99% or investing, right? He was investing, saving 99% and only using 1% of his income. And that's been my philosophy. My goal is how can I increase my income so much, and use the majority of it for investing and for savings and as little of my income as possible for expenses. So level 1, let's say you make less than 10K a month. Level 1 could look something like 80% of your money is expenses, 10% of your money is investing, 10% is saving, okay? And when I say investing, I mean like investing in yourself, like your skills and joining coaching programs or like getting better at your skills, right? In fact, I'd even say of that 100%, then also go into debt, like get credit and like actually buy courses if you can, if you have a potential for the career. Like go for it, go all in. Like when I realized I was a good copywriter because somebody told me I'm a good copywriter, I went all in. Like I didn't mind. I put $5,000 in my credit card. You know, I went for it. I bought programs, I got coaching. When I was at 10K, I didn't have enough to buy this one coaching program. It was $12,000. I invested the $12,000. I paid $4,000 a month for 3 months. So, you know, when you're at level 1, that's what I'd say is like 80% is expenses, 10% is investing, 10% savings. And at level 2, you're making anywhere from 10K to 25K a month. And I would say in level 2, 60% for expenses, 20% investing, 20% savings. That would be a good ratio. So 60% of, let's say, 10 grand a month, you're spending 6 grand on expenses. Maybe in a first world country, that's, you know, probably realistic. Or maybe we got to factor in tax as well. So after tax, let's factor in after tax, okay? So you pay your tax, let's say you have 6 grand left after tax. So 60%, $4,000 for your expenses. And then you got like $1,000 for investing in yourself and $1,000 for savings. And every single time that you go up a level, like you make more money, you get more greedy with your ratio, right? So level 3 would be like $25,000 a month to $50,000 a month. At this level, now you're looking at like 30% of your income being to expenses and 40% being to investing, 20% to savings. And now you have this like nice little extra 10%. And I would just use that for fun. And it's like, do whatever you want with that money. Like you can just use it. I have that at this point. Like I have 10% of my income, do whatever I want, don't care, don't worry, don't think about it. It depends where you live. You could probably do this sooner. It depends on your responsibilities too. I would say like it's a good thing to have a fun bucket, 5 to 10%. You just do whatever you want with that money. You don't have to worry about it because we all have those things we just want to buy without thinking about it, you know? Like I just bought one thing without wanting to think about it. Like the business class tickets, I just bought them. That was my fun bucket. I bought the business class tickets with that fun bucket and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like I'll buy the tickets because I wanted to experience what business class is like. I can't really justify that as an investment or as expenses, you know? So that's level 3. And then you get to like level 4, which is $50,000 to $100,000, which I'd say is like pretty well off. You're not rich, but you know, you're comfortable, you're making good money. At this level, you could say like 20% expenses, right? If you're making, let's say $100,000 a month, surely you can you know, use $20,000 for your expenses, right? Like you don't need more than that to cover your property, your food, your gas. I mean, even $20,000 is quite a bit of money, right? So I would say 20% there. 50%, half your income should be like investing, whether that's in yourself or whether that, maybe at that point it becomes like property too, because you have a lot of cash. Maybe you do property, maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to invest in. You do your research. Some people like crypto, some like stocks, some like building another business. For me, in South Africa, I know that there's some good real estate deals I found, so I've been getting into some real estate deals, but later on I'm probably going to diversify and look for some other stuff that's interesting. But as long as I understand it, you know, I didn't understand crypto, I lost money. So if I understand something, then I'm much more comfortable investing. And I think that's the best advice I've been given is like when you understand what you're doing and you understand the investment, then consider it, then do some research. But if you don't understand it, don't jump into it just because other people are doing it, you know? It's like 20% expenses, 50% investing, maybe like another 20% savings, and then 10% fun, you know? Just have some fun as well. The first step is to obviously figure out what your current expenses are versus your current income. That's your current ratio. So if you're spending 100% of your income on expenses, that's your current ratio. And your goal is, when you increase your income, your goal is to improve the ratio so that you have less of your income going to expenses and more of your income going to stuff that increases your income more and gives you a better life, right? So not just obviously income, more income, but like also quality of life, like fitness and like food and like, so my expenses did go up when I made more money. They did go up, but ratio-wise, they went down. Like relative to my income, my expenses have gone down. I don't do this, but let's say I want to live in a $10,000 a month penthouse. In my mind, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to live in a $10,000 a month penthouse, what I would need is I would need to make X amount of money so that that ratio still makes sense. That ratio, I'm not going up. If I want to drive a very nice car and I want to travel business class everywhere and I want to spend $10,000 a month on rent, then I'm going to be wanting, like $150,000 a month income. Because then it makes sense from a ratio standpoint. It's like, okay, let's say the car is like, the car, between the car and the property and some other expenses, you end up spending like 30 grand a month. Okay, if you're making $150,000 a month, what's the ratio on that? That's like 20%. It's not bad, like you have 80% of your money for everything else. You can invest in business and stuff, right? Think about ratios, look at your current income, look at the current ratio, write it down, reverse engineer as you keep increasing your income. Are you improving the ratios? That's the simplest exercise they can give you. Are you improving those ratios? Every single time that you end the month, you look at it. Did I increase my expenses relative to my ratio, or did I decrease relative to the ratio? Did I increase my investing relative to the ratio, or did I decrease my investing relative to the ratio? And that's how I measure it. Like I'll write it down. I'll write like, okay, this month, 20% of my income went to expenses, 10% went to investing. Last month, 15% went to investing. Right? That's the psychology of it, right? So that's really all I got to share with you. Protect your money. As a copywriter, it's not that easy to get, it's not as stable as it would be in a job. Your money can be very it can fluctuate a lot. So make sure that you save money to protect yourself. And when you do that, then you're gonna have a much better situation. That's what I did. It's worked for me so far. I have properties. I don't have to ever pay rent again. I can rent my properties and travel around the world with the passive income from my properties. I don't really have to work because I just took care of my money. And I wouldn't say I'm like super wealthy with my investments or anything, but I don't have any like crazy expenses because I just was responsible with the money I did make. And you can do this. You don't even have to make $100,000 a month. Like if you just make $50,000 a month, $50,000 a month, that's it. For 2 or 3 years, you can set yourself up for a very, very good future, So take care of your money. If you don't take care of your money's not going to take care of you. If you can't deal with a little bit of money, you won't be able to deal with a lot of money. See you in the next video.